I think Anna is in the waiting.
I have admitted everyone.
Yes, Neeraj, I think we can start.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Progressive Students Forum welcomes you all to the second session of the webinar series on online assessment guidance and tests. I am Neeraja. I am currently pursuing Women-Centered Practice from the School of Social Work. Progressive Students Forum, or PSF, is a students' initiative in Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai campus. We work for making the campus an inclusive space for diverse cultures to melt in. We have been assisting TIS aspirants for the admission process since 2017 by forming Admission Help Cell. A session on how to write DAF was conducted on 25th April 2022, and the same has been uploaded on YouTube. The link will be shared in the comment box. As I have mentioned earlier, this is the second session of the webinar series, and we will be dealing with the School of Social Work today. The progress of the session will be as follows. There will be a presentation made by the volunteers about the various courses under the School of Social Work. General tips for the interview and discussion on extempo will be included. The points shared by us are just for the purpose of guidance, and the extempo topics are from our last year experience. It should not be taken as an ultimate list. Then after that, the session will be open for discussion. We request you to kindly refrain from asking questions in between the presentation. Kindly put your questions in the chat and we will try to answer every query. You can also raise hands to ask questions after the presentation. If questions are left unanswered, you can connect to us through the social media handles. Links for the same will be shared. Okay, so I think we can start with the presentation now. Swati, I think you can take over.
Yeah. Thank you, Neeraja. Good evening, all. Let us start with general tips which we have to follow for this interview. One is all about the DAF. We have already, I think you are in the process of preparing the DAF. It's very important because interview will be according, or interview will be in the progress according to the DAF you have been prepared. So DAF is DAF also gives an idea about whom you are, why do you pursue this course, what are your talents, hobbies, etc., and your interest also. So questions will be more or less will be based on the DAF, and the questions may be asked from why you pursued this or why you wanted to be at this, and about social work, why you choose your profession to be social work, and the center you have chosen, what is the reason behind it, or what are your thought process revolving around those centers. And obviously the graduation subject, whichever it is, the questions you can expect from the graduation subjects, and maybe there will be questions which link those subjects to the social work. Or if suppose you are from an engineering or any other kinds of background, there may be questions which link to linking your graduation subject with social work perspectives, and questions about your internship, if you have done anything previously, or any kinds of volunteering works. You can expect some questions on those basis, like you will be already adding those in the DAF. Then you should have a idea on your region, about the issues persisting in our country or debated in our country, because you may be asked questions on those stuffs to analyze whether you are connected to the present world and issues. And we should be clear about both OPI and the extempo. As you all know, we will start with the extempo for your interview. And the very important part of an interview is present you as yourself. So it's very important that if we doesn't know an answer of a question, it's always better to say no. I doesn't know. So need not want to round up on that answers which you never know to explain. So making your sense organs very vibrant in that 1 hour will always pave a way to a good interview. So let me start with my center, that is CODP. Neeraja, could you please? Yeah, thank you. So coming to the CODP, that is Community Organization and Development Practices, as the center suggests, it is a discipline or a center which focuses on the multi-subjects or multi-perspectives. So you can expect questions from different subjects, and also you may be asked why you pursue CODP. And there are several centers in social work, and what is your reason or thriving force behind choosing this particular center. And you may expect questions from the women on the gender aspect, on development, might be on some environmental aspects, because everything has been related to a community development or any social institution, even the health, even the education, religion. So you can expect questions from multiple subjects or multiple perspectives actually. So if you're preparing for CODP interview, it's very better if you develop a knowledge on multiple subjects and issues specific to your state. That's very important, because in my personal experience, there were many questions rounded on questions on the issues persisting in my state or my region. And if there are some current issues which has been very much discussed in the social media platform or through the newspapers or any kinds of channel discussions, which is a heating debated issue, might be the interview panel may ask your opinion, or what is your perspective, what is your stand in that particular issue. And knowledge about NGO is very important in CODP. What I experienced is I had many questions from NGO part. And when I discussed with my friends, I came to know that they also had the same experience. So having a knowledge about NGO, non-governmental organization, is very important. And just try to develop an idea of NGOs which actively work in your area and how they function. And also, if you try to develop some idea about corporate social responsibility, it will be great. And your previous experience obviously can be asked, and the knowledge on graduation subject as usual. And at the same time, there were many questions for me from asking me about my future aims and plans, because I added some of those stuffs in the TAF. So it's very important that you should have a clear idea on what you write on the DAF, because you can expect questions from that. About 90% of questions you may be facing from the DAF. And coming to the topics of extempo, when you just glance at the slide, you can see that the questions are from multiple subjects, like women empowerment, PRI as a carrier of rural development, and even industrial development, e-protocol. This was the industrial development, and e-protocol was the question asked to me. And the development-induced displacement, migration, culture as a concept or component of human development, refugee rights, NRLM projects, role of NGOs in addressing the concerns of the community. So you can expect questions from multiple subjects. So what from my personal experience, what I would suggest is try to build a knowledge on different subjects and different aspects. Then you will be able to attend the CODP interview and the extempo quite well. Yeah, so I'm done with my part. Yeah, Neeraja, thank you.
Thank you so much, Swati. Now I would like to welcome Gautam to take over the next part.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
So whatever Swati has said is inclusive of CJ as well. The general points are similar, and you basically need to have a holistic understand of India's social paradigm. So what I propose, I'm adding to this is what is specific for CJ. So a question that is going to be repeated is why did you select CJ? Uh, so for the interview, I would suggest that you nail down this answer especially. You have to convince them that you belong in CJ and in PLIS. So nail down this answer, why CJ or why CODP? That is very important. What I got asked were questions related to my UG. I am a law graduate, so they were asking questions about law. It does not mean that everyone will get thrown questions about law. Just have a basic idea of your own UG and your experiences in the field, let it be internship or work experience or anything. Going into CJ specific things, have a basic knowledge on the constitution and laws of the country. It does not mean that you have to know all the sections of the IPC. Just know that which part of the constitution has the fundamental rights, what is the basic idea of fundamental rights, what is legal questions such as what is a bailable offense, what is non-bailable, what is cognizable. So just have an idea on it, don't go too deep into it. This next point is another topic that comes up is pillars of criminal justice systems in India, and this is what we study also within CJ. So this includes law enforcement, the police, prosecution, the courts of country, the correctional facilities, and the community who is also a stakeholder within the CJ spectrum. uh, these are some specific issues that come under CJ. So gender-based violence, atrocities against the denotified tribes, socially secularized communities. These are all specific issues that you just need to read about. And like Swati said previously, if you have regional issues pertaining to criminal justice, that is also quite important. And these are some things that they might ask. So, for example, if you are from Tamil Nadu, they can ask about Jallikattu or that aspect of it. If you're from the northeastern state, they can ask about UPSPA Act. So just we have a regional idea on what is going on in the criminal justice world. So I'll just these are some extempore topics that could come up and has relevance, contemporary relevance at the moment. So capital punishment, the Juvenile Justice Act, where a juvenile who is 18 years, 16 years or above, who has committed a heinous crime can be tried as a major. And these are things you need. These are issues within the sphere. The recent CAA NRC thing, the national language debate, which is currently contemporary, which is ongoing, the UAPA Act, the UPSPA Act, the Farmers Bill, and the resultant protests, extrajudicial killings, which are quite common across India, and the love jihad laws and its constitutional validity. So basically, read about contemporary issues within the field, and they have a basic idea on the constitutional laws and the criminal justice system. That is all that is specific to criminology. So I am done. I think Priya should take over.
Thank you, Gautam. Now we'll be talking about the subaltern studies and
Thank you, Neeraja. Hope I'm audible. So talking about OPI for DSA, it's going to be very context specific. So it's not like what worked for me or someone else will 100% work for you. But the first tip I can give you is to have a solid reason for enrolling in this course. It's the same as what Swati and Gautam said. That is, you should have a solid reason that why you chose disability studies. So almost all of the people who went through the OPI last year were confronted with this question. So reason is very crucial, and draft your DAF accordingly. Be cautious with what to include in your DAF. So majority of the questions will be from that only. And if you did not major in social work during your undergraduate studies, you will need to provide a compelling explanation for switching to social work, primarily disability studies. And there will be questions about the place you are coming from, like they will link that to the subject, like about your knowledge on the statistics, data, government schemes, and everything else. Then for the subject related questions, read about disability, associated laws, acts on disability, like the PWD Act and RPWD Act, UNCRP. These are very important. And recent developments in the field of public health and mental health. And then also nobody expects you to master anything. So it's perfectly fine if you have only a basic understanding of disability. Rest to read about the course, TISS, online learning, COVID, and such things. And it's always a plus point if you know basically about different aspects too. And these are some of the external topics asked last year. Like most of them were subject related for our batch, but that doesn't guarantee you that there will be no other topics given. Like, however, this not mean that other topics will be discussed, because a handful of us had questions about animal cruelty, video games, and other topics. But you should be well aware with the topics that come under disability, like inclusive education, accessibility, ableism, beggary, right to education, etc. So use the time allotted to prepare for the extempore to articulate your points and express it in the best way you can. So that's it. All the best, guys.
Thank you, Priya. Now I will be talking about women-centered practice. So we have already discussed the general tips for online personal interview in the first slide. So you will be getting questions like why this institute and why social work, and especially why this course. So for WCP, you will be getting the question for sure, like why you have chosen this course out of all this, out of all these courses in social work. So I think you have to be concrete in that answer. Like you can link it with your graduation subject or with your work experience or anything you want, or from the interest you have to study the subject. But I think it's better to have a concrete answer to the question why WCP. So as this course is entirely based on gender and especially women, so issues regarding women in the country should be read and in generally, and issues in the candidates region. So I am from Kerala and I got questions from Kerala, like what's happening in Kerala. So that's one of the important points that you have to look into. So if there are any schemes for women and gender specific schemes, so you have to have a not a deep understanding about the schemes, but an overall understanding about the government schemes in your state. And questions from the candidate's graduation subject. So I am a graduate and a postgraduate in literature, English literature. So in my DAF, I have written like how this course, like how the graduation in literature helped me to have an awareness about the gender issues. So I could relate my graduation subject to the social work course that I was curious to pursue. So I got questions from that also, like the feminist theories, like the feminist literature that I have read. So I'm talking about literature because I got that background. So these are the main things to be like remembered for the OPI. So coming to the extempore topics, like all the volunteers have already discussed, you will get a like random topics for extempore. It can be linked to gender and it can be like from other topics also. Like you can see, these topics are from the last year experience. So my classmates have shared this with me. Yeah. So the first topic is reverse migration. So at that time, the topic of reverse migration was very, very controversial, and they got questions from that. How did the pandemic affect sex workers? So it's like discussing a current topic, linking it with the gender. So uniform civil code, random topic, abortion rights in India, farmers protest, impact of pandemic on women, gender equality, women in Dalit literature, Indian women writers. Both these topics, I got the topic of Indian women writers and women in Dalit literature. One of my friends got. Both of us have literature background. So the last one is issues of women in Vidarbha region. So the candidate was from the region, so he got that topic. So the last one is AA and RC. So I will recommend you to read on the current issues, specifically from your region, and you have to know the issues from the country itself. So these are the main things to be remembered for women-centered practice. So now I would like to welcome Slesha to talk about, yes, children and families.
Okay, so hi guys. So as everybody has said, one of the most important question is why children, families, why do you want to do this course? And if you have a previous degree with other particular subjects which is not related to social work, then you need to also link why do you want to switch to children and families. For example, my previous postgrad degree was environment science. So they asked me questions about, how environment and children are connected and how environment is going to affect children and families in general. And similarly, my extemporary topic was also e-waste management. Then you need to know about about your current location and state. What is the situation of children in general? If there are any specific policies or government schemes associated with it. Also the social issues. There was also one more question that was asked in my interview about where would I see myself in 5 years. So it basically asks questions to know about what would you like to do after you graduate from TIS. Okay, so like in what area of children family do you like to work, and what is your future aim, like the short term vision. And if you have done any internship or any sort of experience in children and family, and you've written that in the DAF, then they will ask question related to that as well. As in, like, what have you learned? What were your observation? What more could you do? So coming to the topics for examples, which was last year, if you look at it, the topic is also ranging, like there are from multiple subjects. But then if you look at it, there are questions basically associated with specific to a location. For example, honor killing in Rajasthan, because the friend of mine, she was from Rajasthan. Then the current scenario of pandemic and how it affected poor families and children. Also, one more friend was from Meghalaya. She was asked about the healthcare system. So the various institutions that are going to have an impact on the children, that is the healthcare services, the education services, all this can be asked with respect to your particular location. And your previous background will also play a huge role in the extemporary topics that can be asked. So that is it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Slesha. Now Antarika will be talking about life.
Yeah, hi, I hope I'm audible. Okay, so mostly I have mostly the questions, like everyone said, some of them were directly from whatever I had wrote in my DF. So as you can see, like I had mentioned that I was into, I had studied history and women's studies, and I had worked in an NGO for 2 years. So questions like, does history tell us what to do to resolve conflict, or what is the relevance of studying history in current social phenomena? These questions were asked. And there were questions related to my UG. So I had studied sociology. I was specifically asked to relate sociological theories with mental health. And also a lot of questions were based on the things that I was answering. So for example, in a theory, I mentioned that sati has been categorized as suicide. So I was asked, is sati a murder or suicide? What is my stand on it? Also, you have to be very sure of whatever terms you're using while answering a question, because they might ask the meaning of that term or ask you to give an opposite explanation of that term. So I mentioned about positivism as a stance, and I was asked what is the exact opposite of positivism will be. And there were also some random questions which weren't really related to mental health or my UG course or DA forms. I was asked to talk about stigmatization and underprivileged, and to relate them with examples. And then again, some questions were directly related to where I am from. So because I'm from Kolkata, and in that year the Bengal elections were very much in the news, so I was asked about the religion in the current politics in Bengal. So some of the other tips that I'd like to emphasize again is that be very aware of any healthcare policies in your state, any benefits that is specifically being given there in your state. This is the national budget that has been dedicated for healthcare, and whatever law changes that have taken place with respect to health and mental health care. Be very aware of those things. You don't have to know them in very deep, but be aware that these changes have taken place. And any social political issue in your region, or any social political issue that has taken place recently, be aware of it and have a stand on it. Don't take a neutral stand, have a stand on it and justify it well. And next, you can see the extemporary topics. They range from multiple themes. So there's themes like cyberbullying, good governance, unpaid labor, domestic violence, but all of them are mostly very general socio-political issues that you have a lot of scope to speak on, irrespective of where you're coming from. So yeah, that will be from my side. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Antarika. Now Sriyon will be talking about public health.
Hope I am audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So now, after what Antarika has said about mental health, in case of public health, the things are also quite overlapping. And first of all, the most important, before going on to the interview part, let me tell you about some extempore topics that were asked last year. Most of the extempore topics were not only related to public health, but they were also on various contemporary socio-political issues as well. For example, due to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, so the situation of online education, so it became a very important topic for the extempore. Universal healthcare being the another. Coaching institutions and inequality, climate change and public health, national health policy, personal tracking of COVID-19, promotion of right to health as a social worker. Another important topic was on the SDGs, farmers protest, youth empowerment, COVID-19 vaccination hesitancy, and mental health. So these were the topics that were asked last year from the extempore, which I have recollected from my memory and also from my classmates. Now to the next slide, please. So as many of us have already mentioned that first of all, the most important question is that is always been asked is that why social work? Why are you choosing social work, and why are you choosing this domain of public health as your interest? And also why TISS, why Tata Institute of Social Science? So these are the very common questions that are asked. Also, many of us were asked about the various initiatives and the campaigns that were taken by the government in dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic during that time, because it was on the rise at that time period. In this context, I would also like to say that if you have a political standpoint in your mind or any views in terms of any of the actions of the government regarding the pandemic and its coping mechanisms or any of the other socio-political issues, do take your stand and don't be neutral, because being neutral won't work. What actually works is how you are confident in taking your stand about a particular issue, and that is what is seemed to be important. And also another important thing is, remember to use those terms in the interview which you are sure about. Don't use such terms which you even are not clear about and whose concepts are not completely clear to you. So don't use such terms, because then counter questions on such terms can be asked, and it might hamper or it might affect your the whole interview process. So that's why the last point that I have written is also it is in your hands about how you want to take the interview in which direction. So you have to be very confident in whatever you speak, and if you don't know any answer, do feel free to say that you don't know that particular answer, or you don't have in-depth knowledge about that particular issue. But don't try to be someone like something very deceptive. Don't try to be that. Be yourself and just like express what you know and just be confident. And also there might be questions on as Antarika and many more have already said, that there might be questions on various socio-political issues of your geographical area. So as I was from West Bengal, so yeah, I was asked about the same Bengal elections which were happening during that time. Also they may ask you various controversial questions, like there was this incident where the whole spread of COVID-19 was in Delhi, was in the first phase, was attributed to the gathering in Tablighi Jamaat. So and after some months, some kind of same religious gatherings happened in case of other religions. So they might ask that why is this differential treatment and all happening in terms of the government. So there are some there may be various contemporary issues which might be tricky, which might feel tricky, but it's your political standpoint or it's your views that you should be clear about and just express about in the interview. So yeah, that's all. And also last but not the least, as public health is a rising domain now. So make sure that you have a basic understanding about the various initiatives taken by the government, also the contemporary happenings that are continuously happening around this domain through newspapers and all. Make sure that you are aware of those. And yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Sriyon. Now, Anna will be talking about livelihood and social entrepreneurs.
Okay, hello all, I'm Anna. I'm a second semester student of LSC, which is Livelihood and Social Entrepreneurship. So since our center focuses more on building the livelihood and capacity of people through sustainable options of livelihood, the chances of getting questions related to agriculture is always very high. Since, as you know, agriculture provides livelihood for more than 60% of rural India, you may be asked it as an extempore topic or as a question in the interview. And as mentioned by others, having regional knowledge is always important. For example, I was asked questions regarding different farming methods of rice cultivation in Kerala and about Pokkali, which is an indigenous variety of rice. So you have to be familiar with the livelihood options in your own locality and about livelihood supporting missions and schemes like Kudumbashree, NRLM, etc. And also you have to be aware of how these schemes and policies have changed the lives of people in your locality. For example, when I said that my mother was part of Kudumbashree, the interviewer asked me about how being part of Kudumbashree changed the life of my mother. So you can expect questions like that. You can also be critical about the implementation of schemes if you are well aware. And also you have to be aware about the contemporary issues in your state and new projects of state government. For example, I was asked questions related to Silver Line. So now we'll discuss some of the extempore topics. So gender and caste in contemporary films, small scale farming, interventions to ensure sustainable farming, role of women empowerment in development, women's problem in India. These were some of the extempore topics that we were asked. And SDGs can also be an extempore topic. Then questions related to graduation subject was asked. Then schemes for children and schemes for girls. And when I said that, they asked me in which state other than Kerala you have been to. So I said Chennai, and then they asked me to compare this Kerala and Chennai. So you may expect questions from that, questions like that. Okay, thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Anna. So this is the end of our presentation and the session is open for discussion now. You can post your questions in the chat box or you can raise your hands. Yes, Soham.
All right. Hi, good evening, everyone. So I am an aspirant of the CODP course, and I just had a conversation with a few seniors in this as well. I'm not exactly clear what should I be reading about my graduation subjects because I graduated in BTech Electronics and Communication. So I'm not that good in my field. I mean to say the graduation thing. And I'm currently working as an operations trainee, which has absolutely no relation with what I have done in my graduation. So what should I read about my graduation? I mean, what can be asked and how should I prepare about it?
Okay, fine. Neeraja, can I answer?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah, thank you. So Soham, which stream have you pursued for engineering?
It's electronics and communication, ma'am.
Okay, so you may be asked how the technology driven approach can be directed to the development. Okay, and even they can ask how we can curtail the digital divide aspect among the marginalized. Okay, and at the same time they may be asked how e-waste management, how can we make it sustainable? Okay, and yeah, and they may be also asking about how the advance in the field of technology can affect the development both positively and negatively. And what are the ways which India should pursue to lead a better stand in the technological aspects. Okay, and what kinds of approach should be taken by the ministry level to improve the digital the digital situation of the current India, and at the same time like you may link it with something which you really study. So since you have taken electronics, that's something which is very much related to the technology, you may be asked to build a connection with the community development. Because every subjects, if we take business administration or any subjects, it's almost related to the aspect of development or the concept of development, right? So even robotics, that is also having a hidden concept of development, right? So they may be
Right.
asking how we can link the same with the human development. Do you get my point? Did you get my point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe what you're trying to say is that I do not have to brush up my subjects. Rather, I need to be aware of my surroundings, the technological developments, and how they're affecting the society, right?
Exactly. You have to try to incorporate the learnings which you have got, not technically, but instead how you can apply that to the society. Yeah, considering the social aspect, how you can contribute your technical learning to the concept of development of society. Okay, try to link it in that aspect. So I think you may be able to concentrate on different subjects for the interview then.
All right.
I think I hope I have answered your question.
Right. So I should be reading about these things as well, right?
Yeah, you can obviously like just go through some articles or some new even you can go through the technological part of even Hindu paper. That last part of that Hindu paper really focuses on the technological adventures which have happened recently all over the world. You may focus on some kinds of articles because they may be asking about some new innovation, and they may ask that this is linked to your profession. How can you, what is your opinion on the same? So you just don't, they may not ask you some formula or some technical aspects, okay? But still, they may be asking how you can link it with the society, how you can link it with the concept of community development, okay?
Okay. All right, ma'am. Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So Muhammad Rafi Khan is asking to share the PDF. So Muhammad, the recorded video will be available later, so you can refer to that. Okay. So Argya, please go on.
Yeah, hi Neeraj, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to add to the previous question of Shoham that I am aspirant of women-centered practices, and I'm also from a BTech civil engineering background. So I had been in the construction area, and then I had some experience in BFSI sector. So what are my link I can do to support my answer as a course change to women-centered practices?
It's women-centered practice, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it's like the experiences you have had while working, while studying, everything can add to your answer. So you can link the gender aspect of your work experience to the course. In the DAF itself, in the second question, why have you chosen this course? You can link this aspect, from the work experience. What have you learned about the gender? What have you learned from the gender lens? Okay. So it's just like Swati said, it's not about the technical aspects you have studied, but the social aspects you have learned from the course you have pursued till now, like the graduation subject you have studied. So you don't have to link it with the technical aspects, but from what you have learned, what you have got from a gender lens. So for women-centered practice, you will get a question why you are shifting from your graduation area to this women-centered practice and social work. So I think you have to prepare a concrete answer for that, what has made you choose women-centered practice. So you can just recap everything that has happened in your graduation and work and link it with the gender aspect. Am I clear, or should I elaborate?
No, the reason part is I have covered that part, but I'm asking that if I say that I belong to this technical field and then web sector, so take what kind of question aspect from that area through which they can ask that from means what are the connection they can draw from that in women-centered practices? Because you had this area, then what kind of questions can be asked from that part to means support my answer or support my lenses which you have told.
So I don't think you will get any technical questions from the graduation. Most probably it will be like, why this shift from your graduation to this course? So it will be more like you have to draw in some social aspects. Okay, like from the issues you have encountered during graduation, from the like just like Swati said, you can also incorporate the technical side of your graduation or the subject you have already studied, but mostly it's the lens you are using to view the course you have studied and also the course you are going to pursue. So it's like you can link it. You won't be getting any technical questions from the graduation subject, but you can like draw in all the learnings and reflections that you have had from the work experience to the like in a gender perspective. Okay.
Means like you said in that presentation that because you were studying literature, you have been asked that you have been asked that about the women-centered Dalit literature and the topics have been given for example. So means what kind of that related topic I can expect when I am presenting this kind of experience of a technical background or a BFSI sector.
Okay. In my DAF, for the second question, I elaborated on how the literature helped me to have this gender lens and the interest in this course. So it's mostly because of that I got questions from literature itself. So I wrote it like I love reading non-fiction literature, and I cited some literature that I've read to the course, like to the gender aspect. So I got this question because of that. The external topic also revolved around Indian women writers because I have written about the writers that I was influenced by for this course. So it's like it was basically based on the DAF itself. So if you're able to connect your graduation like experience to the course, then you will be getting questions around that. You won't be getting like specific topics from the graduation itself. It was because that I explained the feminist theories and the feminist literature that I studied during my graduation in the DAF itself. So I connected like that. So it's basically based on the DAF. So if you can connect the other experiences in the DAF, then you won't be getting like technical questions from the graduation.
Okay. Means basically it's from the DAF. Means they have been
yes. I got the question from the DAF.
BioSketch part of the DAF.
BioSketch and also from the second question because yeah, why you have chosen this course.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Neeraj. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, Neeraj, I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there any question for the course livelihood? Because Anna wants to leave. She has some emergency. So if there is any question for livelihood and social entrepreneurship.
If Tejas or Aditya is having questions from that, they can ask first. Avinash, do you have from LSE?
If it's from LSE, you directly ask. Otherwise, just wait a couple of minutes so that if somebody wants to ask regarding LSE, they can ask.
Hello.
Yeah.
I have a question about LSE.
Okay.
Like, is it needed to have some idea about social entrepreneurship? Like some technical terms, or is it necessary or not?
Our center basically supports social entrepreneurship of other people. For example, we promote, we actually helps others to build social entrepreneurship rather than we becoming a social entrepreneur. So questions related to social entrepreneurship was considerably less in the interview. Actually, one of my friends mentioned about this question about social entrepreneurship. The difference between MA Social Entrepreneurship and MSW in Livelihood and Social Entrepreneurship is that we help others to build their livelihood and become entrepreneurs rather than we becoming an entrepreneur. So the chances of questions related to social entrepreneurship will be less, but do read some, do search Google for this. I had prepared during my interview, but I didn't face any questions.
Yes, thank you.
Any other question from LSE?
Hello. Another question.
Yeah, yes,
Like in telling about future plans, what should be approach? Like I have very today I have many aims and want to do everything. So what approach should be there in telling that?
This question is for me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just be frank and do tell your aspirations. It's okay, and faculty will be like, okay, you may find your way. It's not very necessary that you have to have a solid plan right now, but do share your aspirations and what you wish to do in your life. So you can mention that. That is also fine. Just be frank. That is enough. If you have a solid plan, then do tell them that. If you don't have a plan, then do tell your aspirations or what you will like to do in your life regarding the subject.
Yes. Thank you.
For example, you would like to work to develop the livelihood of rural India, so something like that. Or you like to start an NGO for seed conservation or to support the livelihood of women in a particular area. You can mention something like that. Or if you're not if you're not confident about those future plans, then do mention your aspirations and your dreams.
Yes. Thank you.
Is there any other question from LSE? If not, Anna can leave. All the other questions from LSE will be like you can connect with our social media handles and we will look into it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anna. So we will be taking some questions from the chat and then coming to Aditya and Avinash. So Bapaditya is asking, can you mention some issues I need to prepare about my state as I am from Bengal? So Bapaditya, then you can refer to the current issues from the newspaper, and if you want other details, you can connect to our social media handles. We will be reaching out to you. Piyasha Das, sorry if I'm pronouncing your names wrong. So my problem is I have lost complete touch of my background subject, which is sociology. I have shortlisted for MSW Children and Family and MSW Disability Studies. Slesha and Priya, can you answer that?
Hi. So it's perfectly fine to not know every details about sociology, but I think if your undergraduate is in sociology, they will obviously ask you questions about that. So it's better to brush up the subjects from sociology. And it's very needed to focus on disability if you are doing the disability interview. That's it.
Neeraja, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, it's
Yeah, that's not my area, but actually I'm also a sociology graduate. So can I answer to that question?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So since sociology subject is very linked to the social work, as you'll brush up with a lot of sociological theories when you pursue social work. I was asked many questions from sociology actually. They asked me about which sociologist you like the most. So I said Emily Durkheim, and directly they asked about the theories of Emily Durkheim and how can you connect that with the present society. So the classical theories and the classical theorist, and about the Indian sociologist, you should have an idea, because since you are from a sociology background, You can expect a lot of questions from sociology actually, but it's not really wanted that you will know everything about sociology. That's okay if you doesn't know. Even I have made mistakes when explaining about the theories of Emily Durkheim. So it's not an issue if you make mistakes, but still try to have an idea about the subject you have covered in your graduation.
Hello, am I audible? My name is Piasha. I actually questioned it. So can I just ask something?
Yes, Piasha.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually my question was about the sociology being my bachelor subject. Actually, I have brushed up a bit of the classical thinkers, but I have not really gone through the Indian thinkers. Do you think is so much of in-depth study is required, or just doing an overview about the just the important thinkers would do?
There is no need of an in-depth study. Just have a peripheral idea. So if they ask, if they ask about Sanskritization, we should be able to say about M.N. Srinivasan, right? So, we should have a basic idea. That's all. In-depth idea is not at all required because we are not great sociologists actually. So we'll have only a peripheral idea. So just have a peripheral idea. If they ask, at least we should have an idea about that. Just an idea, not a big knowledge or detailed idea on it, but just to have an idea on every aspects. And more than that, just concentrate on some social issues also. You may connect a scene. So just know about a few of the classical theorists and about some A.R. Desai or M.N. Srinivasan, who is a very much or well-known sociologist in India. Just brush up some idea about them. But it's not necessary to have a holistic idea of that or in-depth knowledge. Just have a peripheral knowledge. That's enough.
And can you say me like what kind of extempo topics can I expect?
Okay, that's from women's
Swati,
classes, right?
The extempo topics we have already mentioned in the PPT. So the recording of this particular session will be available on our social media handles. So please refer the same.
Thank you.
Thank you, Piyasha and Swati. Sharath is asking about social epidemiology. So Sharath, it will be dealt with tomorrow, day 3 session. Avinash, please tell some extempo topic for CODP. Please refer to the recorded version of this session.
Can I speak?
Yes, Avinash, yes.
Actually, I have joined late this session because that's why I'm not
It's okay, Avinash. The recorded video will be shared with you later. So you can refer to that. We have already discussed the extempo topics for CODP.
Okay. And my another question is actually, I am from rural background, and I also, I am not that much fluent in English. So can I speak in Hindi and can I switch the language in interview?
So Avinash, the medium of instruction in this is English. So it completely depends on the panel whether to allow you to speak in your mother tongue in the interview. So I think you can directly ask the panel for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Dayanand is asking, I'm selected for CODP. I have worked as a volunteer, but if there is no such certificate, should I mention it in DAF? So Dayanand, you can mention the work experience you have had and the learnings you have had at the DAF. The other part of the question is already discussed in our DAF session. So the link is already shared in the comment box. You can refer to that. Dipali, it's a compulsory to speak English in extempo. So it completely depends on the panel that you are answering to. So you can ask the panel directly. Adya, hello, I have completed my undergraduate in English and have been shortlisted for children and family. Can you give an idea of how to connect the two? Like if asked, how is my degree going to help in MSW children and family? Slesha, do you want to answer?
Yes, I've already answered because there was a lot of questions in the chat box. I've already told her about, answered her question. So we can skip that.
Okay, thank you. Vaishnavi is asking about extempo topic for CODP. So Vaishnavi, we will be recording the session and we'll be sending the video later. Mehak is asking, hi, I have done my graduation in sociology and have been shortlisted for women-centered practice. Should I brush up subjects from my undergraduation? Yes, Mehak, it's always recommended to brush up your knowledge on graduation subject. And for specifically for women-centered practice, all the social theories that link with women, mostly the feminist theories, I think it's better to brush up the knowledge on that. You will be getting questions from the graduation subject. So Aditya, Tejas, are you done with the question? If yes, then you can lower your hand. Aditya, go on. Okay, Aditya, are you there, or can we? Okay, okay, we are moving to the questions from chat. Kushbu is asking, hi, I'm from history, and the course I'm going for is LSE. Because there is a vast possibility of questions from history, how do I shortlist some topics? So Kushbu, the volunteer for LSE has left the meeting. So I think you can connect to a WhatsApp group or other social media handles for the answer. Shreya is asking, can you explain about the technical aspects of the interview? As in, will the OA and interview be held in the same session? What is the average duration of the OPI? How many faculty members will be in the panel? So Shreya, online assessment consists of interview and extemper. So the session will be having the extemper first. So you will be getting the topic. You will be given some 2-3 minutes to prepare on the topic, and then you can speak for like 3 minutes. The time limit will be informed to you earlier itself. So you can speak like 2-3 minutes for in the extemper topic, and then the OPA will be conducted. So the number of members in the panel is completely depend on the center. So it's not like a predetermined one. So average duration will be like 20 to 30 minutes from my experience. It's from the personal experience, it can vary. So Diwali is asking, I am graduated in social work and my course is CODP and WCP. So what is the expected question in interviews and which thing I should to mention in my DAF? So you have already graduated in social work. So you have to like connected with the teams that you have selected. For WCP, I can answer like you can connect it with the gender aspect of the social work itself and how your internships or fieldwork, if you have done any in your graduation, has helped you to get this gender lens. For CODP, I think Swati can answer.
Yeah, same. Considering how you understand the development aspects from your experiences, your previous experiences, or why you choose this particular subject or theme based on any experiences of your internship or based on any theories. What is the reason you may add? And you can contribute like you may, since you are a social work graduate, you may have undergone several internships and field works, and you can connect how those helped you to pursue this particular thematic area. Yeah.
Thank you, Swati. Meera, Aditya, and Bapatya is are
Yeah,
telling that
I haven't like done, I mean, as in the setting, I haven't done anything so far because all others are able to unmute themselves and talk. They can try once more, and if not possible, they can put it in the chat box.
Yes, I think Aditya has already put it. Aditya is asking, there is no information about Dalit and tribal studies and action. Can I get some information on that course also? Aditya, you can connect to our social media handles for the same. And about the course structure, you can visit the website, this website for the course structure and details. So if there are any other questions, then you can mail us or connect with us. Dibankar is asking, I have applied for public health and I am from B.Pharm background. So what will be the questions that will be asked in the interview related to my background post? So I think Shreyon can answer.
So yeah, hi Dipankar. So the questions that can be asked, I feel from your related to your background course might be that what is the current status of vaccine diplomacy going on among the pharmaceutical companies around the world regarding providing vaccinations to people affected by COVID-19, and also there can be various questions regarding the access of medicines, access of healthcare amenities to people, how the inequalities prevail in that sector. So there can be many questions regarding your background codes. So you just have to keep in your mind about how you can relate your previous course of B Farm along with public health. So it can be, there are many aspects that can be related. So you need to think upon it and reflect in your interview. That's what I feel. Yeah.
Thank you, Sriyon. Ashwin, you can ask the question.
Am I audible?
Yes, Ashwin, go on.
Hello. My problem is that after completing my +2, I have done an engineering and I have gone there for 4 years and I have not completed the course. That is, I haven't got the undergraduate degree, but I have completed the course in the sense, I have got supplementary papers. Then I have
Ashwin,
taken.
sorry, but your voice is cracking.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it's like I haven't got an engineering degree, but I have went the college for 4 years. So I'm asking that should I mention that in the gap year?
So do you have an undergraduate degree certificate?
Yeah. After that, I have taken a distant degree from IGNOU.
Okay, so in that case, you have to mention like what happened for the 4 years because you do have to submit the certificate. So I think it's better to mention it as gap year and mention the reason for that. If you have any other doubts regarding this, it's better to mail the admission help of this itself.
Okay.
This itself. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, from the in my undergraduate degree, it's a BA general degree. I have been done any major in the not in specific subject. I have got in first year I have done 2 papers in economics and final year 1 sociology paper. That is, I haven't done major in any of the subject. It's like a BA general degree. So I'm asking that how will that questions will be asked because here people have been saying that questions might ask from your undergraduate degree also. So I haven't done in specific like I haven't done major in anything.
So what course have you chosen now in MSW?
I have been shortlisted for 3 in mental health, criminology, and third one CODP.
Okay, so in the DAF part 1, you will be mentioning the major subjects you have studied, right? Like in the
Yep.
undergraduation. So you will be mentioning the major subjects you have gone to. So I think it will be more like general questions, and I think you will have to explain the kind of graduation you have done. And then I think the follow-up questions will be there. So I think it's better to brush up like basic knowledge about every subjects you have learned, not deep ones, but it's better to have a general idea about the courses that you have pursued, like the major subjects you have pursued, and the questions will be around the major subjects you have filled in the DAF part 1.
Okay. And when filling the DAF, because I have been shortlisted for 3, when choosing why you choose this course, because for me MSW, I know what's about MSW, but when you're writing about a specialization, can you suggest me how to do that? Because I have been I have to write 3, so
Okay.
it should be on the preference order, or should I mention in, if I'm writing for criminology, should I mention in that like I have been interested in mental health also, because
So
I think you get
I
my point,
think
right?
you can refer to our DAF, how to fill DAF video for more details. We have addressed these questions in that also. Like for all the 3 courses, you have to fill 3 separate DAF, like 3 separate questions in 3 separate DAFs. And in the second question, I think you have to link like the reasons for choosing that specific course. I think Ashwin, it's better to refer to a video on the DAF.
No, ma'am, I'm saying that because if you're selected for 3, you should write 3 different bio sketch, right?
A bio sketch can be might be one, but the second and third question will be different. Like why you have
Okay.
chosen this course and the experience you have had around this course.
Okay, you so that same bio sketch can be written for the 3.
Yes, you can. You can, and if you want to add something related to the course, then you can. It's not like compulsory to have the same bio sketch or different bio sketch.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Vishwas, please ask your question.
Hello, Nirja, am I audible?
Yes, yes, Vishwas.
Hi, so I am a final year law student, final semester law student, and I'm also pursuing my another graduation in psychology, BA Psychology honors from Indira Gandhi National Open University. And I have applied and I have been shortlisted for Master's Social Work Mental Health. So I have, like, when I'm answering to the panel, to the forum, there has to be somewhere a coherence between the two, or I mean, I just wanted to know, like, the flow of entire interview, if you can just also another follow-up question is not a follow-up question, but a second question would be the timeline of the interview, because it says that the interview starts from 24th. I know this is off the record and maybe इसने अब तक disclose नहीं किया. I'm not sure if you're allowed to say it or not, but I have my final semester exams till 29th. So how does it really work in that circumstance? So these are two questions.
Okay, so answering the second question, it's not disclosed to us also. Like it will be allotted to you after the DAF filling is closed. So you will get the mail regarding the dates. So if you have this dates clashed with your final semester exam, then I think it's better to mail them, but I'm not sure will the mail be entertained or not. So about the question, MH, I think Andrika has an answer. Andrika, can
Yeah, so you're asking that how will you relate your subject in law and because you have been pursuing law and along with it psychology from IGNOU, how will you relate that with now
So
again
what I
wanting?
wanted to know, I'm
Yeah.
sorry I cut you in the middle.
No,
What I
it's fine.
wanted to know, say, I am pursuing law, so I have a humanistic approach towards law. I have done my specialization in human rights law and practice. I have subjects like, and I have been working with a lot of social entrepreneurial initiatives across the country. So I wanted to know, like, as you are a student of this program, what are the interviewers expecting from you? There has to be like a more weightage given to the mental health care aspect of it from a human rights perspective or from a rights based perspective, or there is I mean, or is there any other approach going about it?
So what the interviewers will try to assess is that what are your motivations to pursue mental health. It may come from your professional side or it may even come from your personal experiences. That does not matter. Okay, but you have to justify that you are motivated for studying mental health because you want to explore this or you want to achieve this, you want to do this. It can be something even if you want to get into like want to pursue it within the prospects of law. Even if you want to do that, you have to justify that. It can be from your I hope I'm audible, right?
Andrika, you're not that clear.
You were not audible. Sorry. Can you please repeat like last 4 lines, I guess?
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, Andrika.
Yes.
So I was saying that you just have to justify your motivations. It can be from your professional course, it can be from your personal space, but you just have to justify it, you have to relate to it. And what you like, you are pursuing to justify. I am pursuing mental health because of these experiences, and in future I want to achieve this, so I am pursuing the mental health course. These are the two ends that you have to relate it. Okay, does that? I hope that helps.
Yes, this answers. Thank you, Antarika. Thank you, Nirja.
Yeah, thank you. So we will be taking Soham's question and
Thank you. Thank you, Neeraj. I wanted to know that the final day for the interviews to wrap up is 11th of June, right? So after that, after how much time can we expect the result to be out? The second thing is, and after the results are out, how much time do we get to, I mean, complete the procedure and the classes start? The reason I'm asking this question is because I'm a working professional, so I would have to, I mean, match the timelines with my office as well when I resign and, serve the notice period and all of that. Could you give me a little bit of an idea?
So the results will be, you will get the results, like the dates are dependent on each year. So we got the results last year. We got the results within 20 to 25 days. So, and you will be getting some time, like for the further procedures, you will be getting some time, and there will be waiting list and the other procedures. So I think you will get enough time to like match it with the work time.
Okay. All right. All right.
I think that's the last question we had. If you have any other questions, the aspirants can connect to our social media handles. The link will be shared again in the chat. Yes, thank you, Meera. So we are closing the session for now. If you have any other doubts, feel free to
Neeraja,
connect.
there is one question like, what is deferment option for master's program?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that question. So Ashish was asking for deferment option for master's program. You do have deferment option after the first semester. I think it's better to connect after, like, to your center after the admissions to know more about the deferment program. Sorry, deferment option. Avinash is asking. Okay, it's a direct message. So is it okay, Avinash, if I read it? Okay, I will answer it first. Okay, so can we close the session? Okay, so Avinash has asked about like, what about your physical appearance during interview? I'm asking this because I have long beard, so can I have to get a clean shave? So Avinash, it's completely dependent on the panel, and it's not about the physical appearance, but more with your answers. So it's your take on your physical appearance. Yes, we are closing the session now. Thank you all for joining, and you can connect to our social media handles for any other info. Thank you.